Welcome to my channel. So as promised, this is the fall makeup look 2024, and I am starting with my Essence Fix and Last primer. And you make sure to pat it on because you want to make sure it soaks in the skin, and don't forget to get the neck part. And after that, I will be going in with my Milani foundation in the shade Golden Tan, and it's recommended to use 2 pumps on each side, the two sides of the face, the chin, the forehead, and then also the neck. I'm running out of product, but I will be getting more soon. So this is not such a dramatic look, kind of natural because it's not using as much product, but it still looks good once you see the final look. And next, I do use this kind of brush to put on the foundation. You can use the puffers instead, but I love using the brush to just brush it on basically. And then I'm going in with my deep concealer under the under eye, chin, and the middle of the forehead and the nose. Once that's blended, I will then go in with a concealer. This is the CoverGirl concealer. I'm sorry, not the CoverGirl concealer, the CoverGirl setting powder in shade Ivory, and that is to lighten it up. But I will be also going in later in this video with a darker shade of setting powder. This is really to get the makeup to really set in, and you can see the definition of the highlighted areas. So that is the reason for using it multiple times throughout this video. And aside from using the setting powder multiple times throughout the video, I'm also using setting spray, the matte finish. So you want that flawless look. So you use the matte setting spray. After that, in the meantime, I'm going to be putting in my eyeshadow, which again is from LA Colors. I'm using the orange and brown setting powder. No, I'm sorry, eyeshadow. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and brush off the setting powder in the shade Ivory. So it really brought out the concealed areas. When I brush it off, I also make sure to go back in and brush it down. So you can see it's still there. I'm going to fix it in between times. But even if you feel like you didn't brush it off good enough, you can always use the setting spray, which I just did. Now, instead of using like cream contour, what I'm going to use is like a powder bronzer, and that can be used as a replacement. It's kind of the same thing because of the brown shade of it. So you want to go in with the bronzer at the bottom of the jaw lines, around the forehead, and the sides of the nose. So then it can brown it up, and then also the cheeks, of course. So you're going to be seeing me do that, and I'm going to show you the areas that you typically put the bronzer or contour on the cheekbones, and do it as lightly or as dark as you need to your desired look. I typically like a lot of bronzer. Like, that's my favorite part, or one of my favorite parts of doing it. And that brush is what I recommend, like a stiff but like sharp head. But it really doesn't matter. Different brushes can be used for different purposes. It's just up to you. So right now, I've already done the primer, the foundation, the concealer, setting powder, the eyeshadow. My lashes are already on. And now I'm going in again with a different setting powder. I don't know the shade of this offhand, but as you can see, it's darker than the one I used before. And this is going to really bring in the definition of the makeup itself. So again, I let this sit for like 2 minutes. And while this is baking, I'm going to go and complete the lip combo. So a little bit about that. I'll be using the Naked LA Colors lip liner. And I'm going to go in with a Milani Nude Shade Lipstick slash Lip Gloss. It's kind of a mixture of both. Can be used either way. And then go on top of that with a clear gloss to finish it off. You can use a cotton swab to smear it on as you desire, but I usually just leave it on as is because naturally throughout the day it's going to come off anyway. So you will see how this looks. If you're new here, thanks for subscribing. If you're just watching, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. If you don't know, I am self-taught. If you go to my oldest videos, you'll see how I started with this. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the shade and the color and really the placement. I overused the blush sometimes and just a whole lot of mistakes. So I've really been mastering my craft for going on 2 years now. So thank you for being here. And it's much more content to come. I'm usually just posting shorts, like the before and afters, but I'm happy that I'm now getting into like the full long tutorials. So thank you. So that is the finished look of the lip combo. Like I said, if you want to use a cotton swab to smear it down, you can do that. But since the setting powder has been sitting on there for about 2 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and dust it off. And like I said, my technique for that is to swipe it off, but swipe it on. And I went back in with the naked lip liner because I didn't feel like it wasn't lip lining good for me. So I went in again, and we're going to see how that turns out. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm not going to complain. It's okay. I like it. So when it comes out all the way, you're going to see. So right now, I'm at the, I don't know what step at this point because now I'm spraying the matte finisher spray again. This is like my fourth time spraying it in the video, and that's how my looks are able to come out so good and neat. And it almost looks like it's a filter on top of my makeup because what I emphasize is the setting spray, the matte setting spray, and the setting powder. You see I did the setting powder twice in two different shades. One I lightened it up, one I kind of darkened it up. So now I'm going in with the eyeshadow on the under eye, on the bottom lash, and I'm using the same shade, the orange eyeshadow, just for a little extraness. And yes, so because I didn't have exactly a fall type blush, I went and used a orange eyeshadow for the blush. Now with makeup, you can really use multiple products and have like makeup products have different purposes. You can use a lipstick also, depending on the material of it, as a blush as well. So just a little trick. And sometimes I actually use eyeliner as a lip liner. So you can really just play around with it and do what works best for you. So at this point, I'm basically done. That's the finishing look. I'm going to just bring my hair down because, it hit different when you actually have your hair down. Brush that out, and you guys are going to be able to see how it really looks. And I'm actually not done. I know it's one more step that I did, which was use another setting powder, like a dark brown, something that's a shade or two darker than my actual skin tone. And it just browned up the areas that I didn't use concealer on. So just to make sure when I step outside that it's the shade that I want it to be and not too light, because as you can see, I used like a ivory white setting powder, and then I used like a banana setting powder, if that's the right word for it. So I went in with my blush as well one more time because I didn't like it. It seemed too light. Like, I'm not shy with the blush at all, as you can see. So yes, I'm loving this look. I would do it again, and I'm adding more gloss. So You can just tweak the look as much as you like towards the end. Things you don't feel like are just how you want it, go ahead and add more. Yep, and this wig is a synthetic wig that I installed myself. I also taught myself how to install lace wigs, and it's pretty easy. I have a few tutorials on it, but it's not super detailed. Let me know if you guys want me to make a detailed tutorial of how to do your lace front wigs. Now, if you just buy a $30, $40, $50 one just to practice, you can do that. Now, I pretty much brush my hair out how I want it, and I'm going in with the LA Colors like chocolate setting powder, and I'm going on the areas that the setting powder or that I put the concealer on, or just basically all over the face, in a way just to darken it up a little bit, because the vanity that I have has different shades of lightening, and you want to make sure that that lightening hits the same when you walk outside. So do what you got to do to make it look um, the desired way that you want it to look. And so thank you guys. If you got this far in the video, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. This is not my last tutorial. I will be back for another one. Let me know your favorite part of the video, how you think about the look. Make sure you share this with a friend, and stay tuned for more. So actually, y'all, this is the final look. Me stepping out the door like this. Boom, bam, bam, bye. Thanks for watching.